All right, guys, we're doing something a little different today. We're gonna do full frontal view. All right, so let's see how this goes today. Anyway, I wanted to share with you guys my final 5 knives that I've been working on for about a month now, month and a, yeah, it's a little over a month. I've gone through my collection, which was about 45 knives that are like considered premium in my world, which is anything over $100, and decided that I wanted to, basically I needed to raise some money, and so I had some family matters and some things that we needed to raise some money for, so I made a commitment to sell most of my collection off, and in doing so knew that I was going to hold on to about 5 to 10 key knives that I really wanted to keep in my collection. So in this whole process of over the last month, I've kind of been shooting some videos out there with you guys and sharing with you guys what I've been doing, and explaining to you why I like certain knives and why I don't like other knives, or why they're more important to me than other knives. And really I was just hoping to share some information with you guys to give you some insight on what I might know about in a couple knives that I've gotten to play with maybe a few times, and maybe that'll help you in making a decision on what you want to buy. And so that's really all I was doing here, and just having fun, trying to make some new friends. And luckily along the way I've had a lot of you guys reach out, and some of you guys have been great with the comments, and it's been fun to get to know you. And I'm learning about knives through you guys, because you're bringing up things I don't know, which is great. So again, I just want to keep it going, and to do so, I do want to ask you guys to please subscribe if you haven't. I am trying to grow my numbers. I'm at about 200 right now, and I want to get to about 1,000 minimum so that I can justify my time doing this. I'm going to keep putting out videos for you. I got some different style videos I'm getting excited to put out for you as well. We'll talk a little bit more about that later, but they're going to have to do with doing some things in the kitchen and playing with my kitchen knives. I got a nice set of Shun knives, and I want to share that with you, and maybe even do some cooking and some recipeing, etc. So we're going to make it fun, guys. We're going to stir it up, and we can put some pocket knives in the kitchen and play with those too. So anyway, that's the thinking. But today, the reason we're here today, I have done over the last month trying to break this down to 5 knives. That's been my ultimate goal. I got to my 5 knives. I had 5 knives for you guys a couple days ago, or I think I had it down to 6. I put a video out on it, but a couple of those knives have now changed. So I feel more confident that these are going to stick around. So I wanted to share it with you guys, and just kind of check out this format on doing a video with you guys, and kind of see how it goes. So here we go. Let's get started. First one, top of the list. These aren't in any order, but it just happens to be the first one, and I do think it's one that's very important, is my Sebenza 31 large. I think this knife right here is a no-brainer. I think if you're only going to have 1 or 2 knives in your collection at total, I think you want to have a good workhorse, and this is a great workhorse knife, but not just a workhorse, a knife that's fun. Even though it's a workhorse, it's fun. It really does have beautiful action to it. Love that knife, love that knife. So anyway, that definitely made my top 5, and no regrets. That will always have a home in my home. So that's what that's all about. That's the large Sebenza 31. Okay, next, let's look at the Capara by Spyderco. I think Astaire Phillips, I believe, is the designer, and he is a chef by trade, and so he's a culinary dude. I'm a culinary dude, so from that standpoint, it's a great knife for playing in the kitchen with. Not that you're going to necessarily use your pocket knife a lot in the kitchen, but if you do, this is a good one. It's also just a great everyday carry. You know, it's slicey as can be. You want to open letters, you want to cut some cardboard, this thing just goes through it like butter. I mean, it's got a great edge on it. And bottom line, it's a good knife. Can't go wrong with it. Highly recommend it. I love the carbon fiber scales on this knife. It is an S30V. I've had no issue with the steel. The steel's worked just fine. It's not my highest edge retention steel, but it doesn't need to be. It's very slicey, as it's got a nice thin blade to it, and it's got a nice flat grind, and it cuts great. I don't know what else to say. It cuts great. A knife that's kind of funny to see here is the 940 Benchmade, because I did have the Blade HQ exclusive version, and ended up selling it because I had a guy make me an offer I couldn't refuse on it. And that was my first 940, was the Jade with the black M4. And so when I got rid of it, I knew I was gonna end up getting another 940. And this was the very first knife I went out and bought, was the carbon fiber S90. version, excuse me, of this knife, and I just got it. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's very, very, very smooth. It's breaking in very quickly. It will be a favorite. There's no question in my mind. It's just a beautiful knife, and from what I've learned from the other one that I've got to play with and that I got to spend a little bit of time with, is that it truly is. There's a reason it's been around for 20 years. It's a classic. It's a true classic, and I'm glad to have one. All right. I cannot have a Final 5 without having this knife in it, and that's my Para 3. And this happens to be the one in Maximate. Love this knife. This was probably my #1 most carried knife of last year. I'm not doing it justice here on camera, but definitely probably my most carried knife. I wore it with shorts. I wore it with jeans. I wore it with everything. It's a small enough knife you can fit it in the pocket. It's a great tool. It's a really, really good tool. Like just this past weekend, my daughter had gotten something, some gift, that had a bunch of ties that were on it for the packaging. And sometimes those ties are really, really hard to get to. This knife was perfect, man. I just got my knife in there and boom, they were popping off one at a time. I tried like 3 other knives, no such luck. This one's it's a utility knife. It really, really is a great, great utility knife. So can't recommend it enough. That one's definitely staying. Then the final one that I have is going to be my small Sebenza 31, which I think speaks for itself. Very similar to the large. The biggest difference on this one versus the large is an S35 VN. This is an S45 VN. So this is one of the first that had come out in the S45 VN. There is a story behind this knife. It did go into the shop. When I got it originally, it said it had S45 VN steel on it. It did not. It had S35 VN steel on it. So I did have to send it to the shop, but they took care of it. They replaced it. They put new lugs on it. They cleaned up the knife because I had a couple other minor issues, and all is good. But this is another one that is just a solid carry. It's a workhorse. This is a knife that will be around, that I'm going to be able to pass on to my kids. It's not going anywhere. If I decide to keep this one long term, this is definitely going to become an heirloom for somebody in the family, one of my sons. So anyway, another knife that I love. I do like it a lot. That's why I made my top 5. So as you can tell from what you're looking at here, this probably is not what I would have guessed at all to be my top 5 if you would have asked me when I very, very, very first started this. There was a few other knives that really stuck out. I'm a huge ZT fan. I didn't save a single ZT. And it's not because I don't like them. I love ZT, and I will eventually get some more ZTs. They're heavier knives. They're not as practical. Can't use them every day for everything. That's why when it comes down to a top 5, it just didn't make my list. It just wasn't practical enough for me that I could use it every day, that I felt like I would carry it. If I only have 5 knives, I want to be able to use any one of them on any given day, and know that it's always there to use, and that it's not, that it's size appropriate, etc. So anyway, so that's one example. I got rid of quite a few Spydercos. I got rid of Hinderer Half Track, which, I'm still licking my wounds on that one. That was a hard one to give up. Had some nice knives, guys. Had some nice knives. I had a Satori 2.0, which was from Custom Knife Factory. Beautiful, beautiful knife. It was all custom anodized. I had a ZT that was custom anodized by Blade, USA made Blade. Had done that one. But a lot of these knives I sold to some really nice guys, and I've made some new friends, and some of these guys I'm keeping in touch with, and you may see those knives back on this desk again at some point. You never know. So anyway, that's all I got for now. I just, hopefully you guys like the setup. It's a little bit different. I just wanted to try something different, and let me know what you guys think in the comments, please. And do subscribe if you haven't. I really, really could use the subscribers, as I am new here, and I'm just trying to build this channel. So any help, any suggestions, I am listening. I don't know it all. I'm just a newbie who likes knives, who's an enthusiast, who likes to play with knives, and wants to share it with you guys. So that's all I got, man. Colorado Dave signing off. This is Knives in Our Lives. Thank you.